I think before I start right into my story, I just want to say it's been incredible sitting here and listening to everyone's stories. It's given me a life perspective and it's been very inspiring as well. Okay, it feels different talking because I just performed, I didn't feel this way. So, yeah, 2 years back, a young woman, the eldest daughter of her family, made a bold decision. After living in the comfort of a blessed home and with her family for 25 years, she decided to move beyond the familiar, being the first generation of her family to move overseas. Yes, a woman is me, but then I don't think this is just my story. It's every woman's, every student's story who comes here for pursuing master's degree or with any kind of dreams in their eyes, right? So having come here, there's one thing what I come to realize is staying at home has a different kind of energy altogether when you're out into a world which I'm definitely unfamiliar with. There has been a lot of learning. But yes, moving straight into my first year here, it was the internship season. And back then, there were layoff news, making headlines every other day. And I found myself, like many of my friends, sending countless applications, just hoping for a breakthrough. And then one fine day, I get a call back. And during my interview, my potential manager mentioned something really unexpected. He said that his boss was particularly impressed by a link that I had included in my application. At first, I was a little startled. I was like, a link? And then I realized that this was the link to a Medium article which I had written. It was basically a project during my coursework, but since I had invested a lot of time and interest building it, I decided to articulate it in the form of an article. So it was basically working on a data set provided by the World Health Organization, building a predictive model in order to analyze and predict what kind of life expectancy we see across 200 countries. So that one article and then one project of mine, which included every detail right from my project to my outcomes, stood out in my interview, and it became a meaningful conversation throughout, proving that your one well-documented project can be your strongest advocate. So it was then that I realized that people do not often believe in what you say, right? It's most of the time, it's your work, it's your project, it's the way you portray yourself. It's basically what they can see is what they're going to believe. So I made it my mission that all my work and all my projects are not just going to be, something on a piece of paper. I came to believe that every work, every project that I do is going to speak way louder than what I just have to show in my resume. So, okay, moving forward, like I've been introduced, I'm a graduate student at Northeastern in my last week, and I have taken up my courses which have been inclined more towards the data side, and I have a very soft corner of working on the healthcare solutions. And my current project, which is again basically a story where I'm working on the de-identified medical healthcare records and trying to automate the medical code generation from the clinical notes, as well as trying to summarize these lengthy clinical notes, which basically is a task to do manually. And it also helps in most of the technical purposes as well. So this is not just a project for me. It's something which I'm basically trying to leverage data to get a very good healthcare solution and output. And when I'm trying to reach out to people talking about it, I think it's not something which I'm just articulating it. It's something which I'm trying to say that, I'm building a solution, and that is what probably leaves an impact. So while I'm talking about my projects, it's definitely not just about me doing it all alone. There have been various platforms such as GitHub, Kaggle. I'm not sure if these terms are familiar, but as a grad student, these are the things that we're just surrounded with, articles, making it, trying to show our code, trying to project our projects. So all this have been an incredible part of my journey. They're not just tools, they bring life to my projects. And yes, and of course, I think in the outburst of these large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini, They have been my creative and analytical partners throughout my journey. And having said that, to me, building a project or a portfolio is not just something showing it on paper. You're showing it even on my website. It's basically something that is going to reflect my patience, my perseverance, my consistency throughout, and how I have built. And it's basically a story that is going to be formed at the end of the day. 2 weeks back, I again had a wonderful opportunity of addressing my fellow juniors at college. And most of them, I could see that they were confused, overwhelmed. They had just landed here, confused. How do they get started? And I could see myself back when I was in their shoes. And I wish that I had someone who guided me through this critical process of building your identity through your work and portfolio. It's usually a journey unspoken about. But there's one thing that I have learned from my family, from my parents, of course, is growth is not just about reaching your personal milestones. It's also about uplifting others as you rise and giving it back to the community. So having said that, I think our words, our project, and our impactful work that we do are mirrors of who we are. And it reflects our entire journey, our values, and vision. As I think about my project, and maybe as all of you think about your impactful work, here's a thing that we can ask. What story are we telling? And if it is a story which is living an impactful effect. So thank you, everybody.